before the people of his state. His soldiers idolized him, and his fame was a pleasant theme in almost every household. Almost under protest, he was elected governor in 1867, but Reconstruction tactics counted him out. He was elected United States Senator in 1872, when only 40 years of age, over two of the greatest statesmen Georgia ever had, Alexander H. Stephens and Benjamin H. Hill. He served, first and last, about 13 years in the Senate of the United States. His services in the National Congress were brilliant and statesmanlike, and placed the entire South under great obligations for his display of tact, fortitude, wisdom, and patience under great provocation at possibly the most delicate and threatening period in the history of the ex-Confederate States. His courage and eloquence, used always conservatively, with the aid of such men as Lamar of Mississippi, Hill of Georgia, Gibson of Louisiana, and others, brought his own state and Louisiana, South Carolina, Mississippi, and the entire Southland under the control of their own people. He was chosen by the Democrats in Congress to draft an address to the people of the South, urging patience, endurance, and an appeal to a returning sense of justice as the cure for all wrongs. He was elected governor of Georgia twice, and the record shows that his messages were as able as any emanating from the long line of distinguished men who preceded or followed him. Able critics declared his first inaugural worthy of Thomas Jefferson. Of his last election as United States Senator, a contemporary historian has written, "It was a marvelous political victory. Unopposed until he antagonized the sub-treasury plan of the Farmers' Alliance, which had 4/5 of the legislature in its favor, he was elected after the most exciting contest of the times. In the wild enthusiasm succeeding his victory, he was borne by the multitude through the Capitol to the street, placed on a caisson, and drawn about the city amid shouts and rejoicing, while the whole state was ablaze with bonfires. His speech in the Senate in 1893, at the time of the Chicago riots, pledging the aid of the South in maintaining law and order, rang from one end of the country to the other. Declining a re-election to the Senate in 1897, he devoted his later years to the lecture platform. The one object near his heart was to wipe out as far as possible all bitterness between the people of the North and the South. His great lecture, The Last Days of the Confederacy, was received with enthusiasm everywhere, and he really became the great evangel of peace and good feeling. Nor was his a new idea with him. At Appomattox, after the surrender of Lee's army, he gathered his weeping heroes around him, and his patriotism in that dark hour was prophetic and grand. He told his comrades to bear their trial bravely, to go home in peace, obey the laws, rebuild the country, and work for the weal and harmony of the Republic. This text was his theme ever afterwards, and while stalwart and battling inch by inch in Congress for his beloved Southland, and devoted to the tender memories of the Confederacy, he yet set an example of true patriotism, by adding to this devotion an unwavering loyalty to our great reunited American Republic. No one could move the masses as he did, North and South, and by appeals to patriotism coupled with pride of section and country. The affectionate regard in which he was held was nowhere brought out so markedly as in the great fraternal gatherings of ex-Confederate soldiers. Here he appeared greatest and most beloved. He was their only commander from the organization of the United Confederate Veterans until his death. His magical leadership and personality, and wise and conservative administration gave it shape and success. His hold on and influence over his comrades, when he appeared among them or rose to speak, was wonderful to behold. Even a motion of his hand brought silence, and the great gatherings hung on every word he spoke, and his advice decided everything. At the reunion at Nashville, Tennessee, he attempted to lay down his commission as commander. No one who witnessed that scene will ever forget it. The great assemblage, some 6,000 persons, rose spontaneously and with wild acclamation that would admit of no parleying or delay, commissioned him for life as leader and commander. I doubt if any other man ever had a greater and more effective demonstration of love and confidence. A similar scene occurred at Louisville. Here he raised his voice amid great